Hey everybody, welcome to your weekly Making Music Matters 5th grade trumpet lesson. 4th graders can play along too, but this is primarily for my 5th grade students. We're going to start off by doing a little bit of a warm-up today. We're going to do the C major scale. So, do you remember the fingerings for the C major scale? You have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and high C. Alright, so we're going to go through that, each note as a quarter note, about this tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So now let's try it from the top going down on high C. 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. So let's rest for a second, and then we'll try it from the bottom, going all the way to the top, and then back down again. Okay, quarter notes on each note. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, good. So now, the featured piece of the day will be New World Symphony. So take out that piece, should say Performance Spotlight number 118, theme from New World Symphony. Okay, so we have 2 trumpet parts on this song. It's divided at certain parts for a top part and a bottom part. So the first 8 measures that we play, everyone plays the same part. So let's do that first. So this on the music, I'm looking at measure 5, and we'll play to measure 13. Okay, so let's also review what a dotted quarter note is. The first rhythm you have is dotted quarter, and then an eighth, and then a half note. Okay, so you know what the dot does to any note. You take the value of that note, cut it in half, and add that extra half to the original value. So a quarter note, a dotted quarter note is normally 1 beat. So if there's a dot after it, you cut that 1 beat in half, so then you have half a beat, and then you add it to the 1 beat that the quarter note is, so then it's a dotted quarter note. If you had a dotted half note, a half note is 2 beats long. The dot cuts it in half, so that would be 1, and then you say 2 plus 1 is 3, so a dotted half note is 3 beats. So anyway, we have a dotted half note in the 5th measure that we play, so that's 3 beats. So dotted quarter note again, that's 1 and a half. Okay, so measure 5, the rhythm goes da 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 da. Okay, so let's play it now. This says measure 5. This is where we start. 1, 2, 3. So then we were just right at measure 13 right there when I stopped. So did you notice that the articulations that I made, most of the notes were slurred or like connected together without stopping the air. If you look at the first measure, the first 2 notes are slurred together. You see the tie underneath it, it's a slur underneath it. It goes da, ha, da, and then you tongue the 3rd note. So you notice I'm connecting the first 2 notes and then stopping the air just for a brief second and then re-articulating the 3rd note. So it goes like this. 3, 4. So you hear that? That's the correct way to articulate as written here. So the first 2 notes are connected, and then a brief break, you tongue the 3rd note again. The second measure is a little different. All 3 notes are slurred. So that's why I didn't stop the air at all. between the E, the D, and the C. So it goes 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's practice that with me. So that here are the first two measures of the piece, and make sure that you just get the right articulation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then just let's practice the next two bars too, because these you have 5 notes in a row that are all slurred, so no stopping the air at all between those 5 notes. So this is the third measure that we play, starting on our D, 1 and 3. 1, 2, play along, and. Okay, good. So now we're paying a lot of attention to all the little things, the articulations, making it sound good. Also, it's important to just listen to every note that you play and make sure you get a good tone on each note. If the note's going higher, like E to G in that first measure, make sure you speed up the air just a little bit, raise your tongue just a little bit to get that G to be high enough and in tune. Make sure it doesn't go flat like this. You want it to go up higher. So just listen to every note that you play and make sure it sounds good. And with your ear, you'll naturally start to adjust the air speed, your tongue level, to make sure you get all the notes in tune. And remember, you go lower, you can lower your tongue a little bit, and it's kind of like slower stream of air, but a little bit wider. And then the higher you go, you raise your tongue, blow a little faster, but more narrow stream of air. Okay, so with that in mind, we have all those things. We're going to make it sound good. Let's just practice the first 8 bars one more time together. Okay, so this is measure 5 through 13. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Also, you have to be aware of the breathing in a song like this. There's not a lot of rests, so you have to find the places where you breathe. So I think I was breathing every 2 measures, basically. So after we started at 5, and then after 6, I snuck in a quick breath. And then you play 2 measures, and then you have a quarter rest, so you definitely breathe there. So remember, always take a really deep, relaxed breath whenever you have the chance to do it, usually about every 2 measures in this piece. Okay, now we're at measure 13. Now we're going to play the top part first, so it goes A, C, C, B, G, A. A, C, B, G, A. That's the rhythm of the fingerings. So, and then it repeats, does the same exact thing again. So it's like a 4 measure phrase 2 times through. Okay, so let's play it. Top note, so you start on this pitch. So play that note, that's high A. Make sure you raise your tongue level a little bit more so that you don't get a low E by accident. Okay, here we go. Measure 13, top part. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So you see how it went. It was started off middle high and then went even higher for the high C, going up to 0. So make sure you raise your tongue, adjust the airspeed. For every note that changes, you have to change the airspeed a little bit. And make sure you're always listening to get the notes to be in tune as well. Especially in those high notes, make them go high enough. So the articulation in this phrase, the first 3 notes I tongued. And then there's a slur. And then you tongue the next note. So listen to that again. Okay, so now play along one more time on the top part and make sure you're getting the right articulations this time too. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Now let's do the bottom part. So at 13, you start on F. So it goes F, A, G, E, F. F, A, G, E, F. And hold it for 3 beats. That's a dotted half note. Okay, so now let's try to play it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do that one more time. Play along, and you could either play along the bottom part with me, or you could do the top part right here, and then you'll hear the harmony. So I'm playing at 13, measure 13 through the end of measure 20. So if you want to go ahead and play the top part, then you'll hear the harmonies, or you could just do the lower part with me. And the articulations for the bottom part are exactly the same as for the top part. Okay, measure 13. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're halfway through. I just wanted to say this is the top note starting. This is the pitch for the top part. And this is the pitch for the bottom part. Okay, so we're going to start where we left off. This would be measure 13, 14, 15, 16. Measure 17. So like the 5th measure of measure 13. So I'm going to play the bottom and you can play the top with me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Now from here on out, both trumpet 1 and trumpet 2 just play the same part. So this is measure 21. It's the same as the beginning until like the middle of this phrase, and that's a little different. So notice, look at the slurs, make sure you're connecting the notes with air, smooth stream of air. We start on E. Okay, so this, I'm going to play it. You can either just play along with me, or you can just listen and then pause it, and then you try it by yourself. Here we go, measure 21. 1, 2, 3. Good. All right, so on that last note, do you see the arrow kind of getting smaller, backwards arrow? So it's a decrescendo, so that's why it got softer at the end of that note. Okay, then you have a 2 measure rest, and then we come in again on measure, well, on a D, 1 and 3. So the last 2 measures of the piece. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So that last note, there's a fermata. Do you see the little dot? It looks kind of like, people call that an eagle eye. So that means hold the note until the conductor cuts you off. So I'll be the conductor this time. You hold it, and then also, we start on the dynamic of piano. You see the little P underneath the D. That means starting at piano dynamic, which is soft. And then on the last note, there's also a decrescendo, which means get even softer, softer, softer. So basically, on the end of that note that we're holding as long as we can, we're also trying to get softer and softer and softer, so you're just like barely even making a sound. Okay, so let's try that together. Last two measures again. And we're gonna try to pay attention to the dynamics this time too, and the fermata. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it got so soft that the note actually stopped there. But that's the goal, is just try to hold it as long as you can, as soft as you can, or until the conductor stops it. Okay, so that was a little run through of New World Symphony. So you can rewind it and practice with certain parts with me again, or just practice it by yourself now. All right, have a good week. See ya.